So, Brendan, you sent this to me yesterday, and I watched this clip. It's Marc Maron on.
Is it a clip? Because because I didn't look into it. I didn't see it. I saw this. I'm like, this would be good for the show.
Yeah.
But when I saw it, I'm like, I need to know the context.
There was a clip. This was Marc Maron on Tom Segura's show.
Do we have the clip?
There's a clip on YouTube somewhere. It's not on this particular
We go to
article.
it, Jen? Because before we talk about Maron, who I actually like, and I think he's a great comic. Before we talked about Maron, he's been on this show, and he's one of my favorite podcasters. Him and Rogan started the same year. But I need to see the clip.
I saw what he said. It wasn't.
I think that, you're your own guy. You're your own life. You weren't one of the guys that, rented out space in Joe's ass. And, yeah. It's like a human centipede in Austin. It's like Elon Musk, Joe Rogan, and 3 middle acts. So
he's being funny.
But you seem to do your own thing.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, we have our own.
See, people are going to see that and go, like, look at Maron, he's bitter. It's like, why wouldn't I be? Why?
Oh, he's admitted
$100 million for going, I don't know.
This is where I have a problem.
Really?
This is where I have a problem with it.
That's a lot.
Hey, Rogan's pushing back. I don't know, man. So
that's fair. He's being funny.
Yeah. But I'm not going to sit here and accept Austin as the next Shangri-La.
Yeah.
Because people always forget to finish a sentence. Hey, man, I'm moving to Austin, Texas. Yes.
Yeah. It's still Texas.
Oh, it's really Texas.
It's really Texas.
It's like the hipster Alamo. It's this little enclave.
It does feel like you're totally in a different universe. Like, obviously, it's the most time I've ever spent there. Usually you come in, you do a weekend of shows, right? But it is not like any other Texas experience,
No, I've always liked it.
I mean, I think what he said was funny, and he's being silly. Joe's fine. Joe will be fine on it.
My only problem is when he goes, them giving $100 million to Rogan for his pushback's going, oh, really, man? Like, that's the only where I don't agree with Maron.
Well,
that's not why Rogan got $100 million. Like, you can't say Rogan's not a good
but he's
podcaster.
joking. I mean, obviously we know that.
That's shade for sure.
Okay,
that's shade for
it's
sure.
a little shade, but it's fine.
But also, it's the same.
I thought it was funny.
But it's the same. The parts were really funny.
Yeah.
But and I do like Maron. But there is, Rogan's the cool kid in town. And everybody knows he got $100 million. So it's like with Drake, like, if you're an upcoming rap, and not that Marc Maron's up and coming, but if you're like a rapper that's big in the field, like if you're gonna take shots, you're gonna take shots at Drake because A, he's not gonna respond. He's killing it, and right. B, like he's the head honcho.
Yeah.
So that's the guy you shoot for.
That's fine. That's all good. We're just fucking around. Everybody's friends.
Well, they're not friends, but yeah.
Yeah, but they're fine with each other. I mean, Mark and Joe have known each other for 26 years, 27
They're
years.
not friends, though.
Okay, but they're not enemies. They're not.
They don't fuck with each other.
I've known those guys together for a long time, and I've had conversations about them with each other, and there's not animosity. It just isn't. They're just different people. They're very different people with very different audiences. I would say that.
I agree. There's one's jazz, one's fucking 100%.
Hard
rock.
Just different, but
and both are great at
both
podcasting.
Have great value.
Both are. I mean,
yeah.
They're two completely different.
I think what Mark said was actually funny, and he was being silly, and it's just a podcast, and he's saying shit.
But I get with Maron, like everyone's saying Austin's like the end all be all. Like,
and I agree with
for LA guys,
saying.
it's like shut the fuck up.
I agree with that.
Yeah. I'm with him.
Yeah,
I'm with him.
I mean, I was like,
but the only part where I don't ride with Mark was like, dude, $100 million for being like, I guess I don't know, like, come on.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, I mean,
that's the issue I have with it.
Again, I don't take that seriously. I don't think Mark takes that seriously. I think we're just being. I think that Joe probably had part of Joe's. What is it? What would you say? His part of his technique and personality is not to push back, is to let people talk.
He's pushed back a ton.
Say their thing.
Joe's pushed back a ton. If you don't agree with you, he's gonna push back for sure.
Yeah, he'll push back, but for the most part, he's also he likes to take himself out of it and listen to what the person says.
He wants you to get your point across.
So he has a lot of people.
There's been times where if he doesn't agree with you, or if he thinks something else, he definitely can push.
There's also a lot of
more
times
so than Maron.
But there's a lot of times when he's had people on who he doesn't agree with. I know for a fact, I've seen it, where he doesn't agree at all. But he'll let them speak their and then he'll get their point. And then part of that is what he would consider good podcasting, because he's taking them, asking them how they think, and then listening to them. If he starts pushing back right away, they're going to clam up.
They're going to shut down,
Right.
and their point's not going to get
So
out.
if you have a 3-hour conversation and you're going to start shutting people down, what happens is that podcast becomes 1 hour.
Correct.
So I understand why he doesn't push back in some cases, because he wants to hear what they have to say. And I know for a fact there are people where he just is like, that guy doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
For sure.
But he's not going to shut you down, because that's kind of not his.
Or,
first of all, it's not his job.
if he thinks you're out of line, he'll shut you
Yes,
down.
I've seen him do
Joe
that.
is not afraid to
I've
do
seen
that.
him do that when people are lying or when they're being disingenuous.
call you out.
Yes. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
But if somebody's a socialist,
He's also made $100 million, so do what he does. I mean, it's not what I do.
It's his thing.
But that's his thing.
it's
And
a
it worked.
3-hour conversation, and what happens is so when he had Bernie Sanders on, who I've always disagreed with, but when you hear him,
But Joe doesn't. Joe voted for
Joe
Bernie Sanders.
does and doesn't, and some things
Joe
he
voted for
disagrees and
Bernie
other
Sanders.
stuff. Yeah, but for some things
I was a
he
huge
disagrees
advocate
and
for
stuff.
Bernie Sanders, and Bernie going on Joe's show helped out Bernie Sanders tremendously.
When I heard Bernie on Joe's show,
liked
what
it.
happened was I was like, he didn't sound as extreme, right? He sounded a little bit more reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
And so what happens when you listen to that is that's what I like about Joe's podcast, is you hear somebody not in 5 minutes, but in 3 hours be able to tell, or even an hour or whatever it was with Bernie. And that's a long time. I've never heard him get a chance to do that on TV. So you hear him be able to work through ideas.
Maron does
That's
that
the
too, though.
value.
Maron does that
100%. 100%. That's what's great about podcasting. You get the whole complete person.
I mean, Maron had fucking